Can't believe I'm back here with you again. In our bedroom.
It's like a dream come true.
What's the matter?
Do you think it's all right that I'm not at the trial?
Well, it's what Rachel wanted.
I know that. But I'm worried about her. Just when everything else in my life is going exactly the way I want it.
Well, it'll be over real soon. It could be over now for all we know.
Mrs. Corey, would you re-identify my photograph of the alleged assailant? Mrs. Corey, is this the man who attacked you?
Yes, it is.
The man you have identified in this photograph is not the alleged assailant. It is none other than your own son, Mr. Matthew Corey.
Objection, Your Honor.
I move that all charges against my client be dismissed immediately.
Order. Order in this court.
How could that happen? How could Rachel identify Matthew as the man who tried to kill her?
I think I know.
Your Honor, I request a recess.
Your Honor, I'm in the middle of my cross.
Order. Counsel's request is denied. You may continue.
Would Mr. Matthew Corey please stand? As everyone can see, with the obvious exception of Mrs. Corey, the man in this photograph is not the alleged assailant, Pete Walker, but the witness's own son.
Objection, Your Honor.
Obviously, she has no idea who attacked her that evening, and I restate my motion that all charges against my client be dismissed immediately.
Counsel, please approach. Considering the circumstances, I'm tempted to grant defense counsel's motion.
A brief recess to confer with my witness.
Granted. This courtroom will take a 15-minute recess, after which time I'll render a decision on defense counsel's motion for dismissal.
Bravo, Counselor. Congratulations, and of course my heartfelt thanks.
It's not over yet.
There's no need to be so coy. It's all over bar the shouting. Perhaps the state's eyewitness should give the rest of her testimony in Braille.
And I've yet to play my ace in the hole.
Ah, yes. The star witness. Though I prefer to think of Amanda as a queen.
Obviously, you were still mad at me, huh?
Well, maybe it wasn't right for Dean to sneak into my room, but that didn't mean that you had to throw him out.
Well, we disagree on that.
Yep.
Thought you'd be at the trial.
I didn't want to go.
Why not?
Because of Matt, because I don't want to see him. I wanted to go for Rachel and the Coreys, but I can't even do what I want because of Matt.
Because of Matt or because you're afraid to face him?
It's the same thing.
Well, not exactly. And then, of course, there's always Dean. Okay, we'll change the subject.
Thank you.
Yes. Honey, you know what you need? You need a guy who's kind and understanding and won't hassle you.
Oh, please. The last thing I need is another guy in my life.
I meant me.
What?
Oh. How'd you like to spend the afternoon with your father?
Sam,
Olivia Matthews?
come on in. The door's open.
Hi.
Hi.
You're Olivia Matthews, right?
Yes?
We had a date, and you never showed.
I think you have the wrong Olivia Matthews.
I'm not used to being stood up. What's the story?
God, I wish I knew what was going on down at the courthouse.
Maybe Rachel's testimony finally nailed Carl.
I hope so. I want this to all be over.
It will be real soon. And when it is, I'll be there with you.
I still can't believe it.
I can't wait till we can start living together again.
Any idea when that's going to be?
Well, Olivia moves out today.
Great. So then we can start spending the nights together. All right, relax. I know we said that we were going to take it slow.
No. Slow can be a lot more fun, you know. Besides, quick hasn't seemed to work out too well for us.
I know. I love you, even with lipstick all over you.
And I love you too. So let's not mess things up this time, all right?
Come on.
Okay.
Hello? This is she. All right. I'll be there.
What is it? Something with Rachel?
That was Carl's lawyer. They've called me to the stand this afternoon
What?
as a witness for the defense.
Mom,
Matthew, I told you and Amanda to go home.
wait a minute. Why didn't you recognize my picture?
Attention. It was blurry.
What do you mean? What are you talking about, blurry? You don't get blurry.
Matthew, back off. You're not helping the
Wait a minute. I don't
Matthew.
understand what's... Okay, I'm sorry. You did the best you could.
Matthew, the truth is, I couldn't see.
What?
I've been having trouble since the night on the docks.
What kind of trouble?
Double vision, blurry.
Does Jamie know about this?
No, he doesn't.
Well, you have to tell him. Do you want to lose your sight forever? I mean, how could you keep this from us? I don't understand what you are...
Okay. What happened out there?
I should have refused to identify the photograph. I'm having trouble with my sight.
Which was exactly what Miss Kramer was counting on. This, eye problem. You've had it before.
Yes.
It didn't occur to you to mention it in your
It
statement?
occurred to me. I decided not to.
How long has this been going on?
Since the incident on the docks.
Before you were attacked in the TV studio?
Yes.
I don't believe it. Why didn't you tell me?
I thought I could handle it.
Well, obviously you were wrong. And our whole case just went down the tubes.
Wait a minute, Kevin, there must be something you can salvage out of this situation. Carl hired Pete Walker to attack Rachel. Now, her vision doesn't change that.
Is there anything else you haven't told me?
No.
All right. Who else knows about this?
Mom, the doctor who was treating me.
So, I have to figure out if Miss Kramer knew about the eye problem or if she just took a lucky shot.
Why would that make a difference?
You were very nervous up there, weren't you?
Yes.
Nervous enough to be confused.
Look, the bottom line is I incorrectly identified my son as my assailant.
Mrs. Corey, you're not helping me.
Well, this is getting a little ridiculous. Now, Rachel obviously saw Pete Walker clear as day. How else could she have helped the police artist to make such an accurate sketch?
And all the jury saw was Rachel misidentify his photo.
Is there something we can do?
All right. You, get out of here.
Wait a minute.
Just go home. I don't want you anywhere near that courtroom. If the jury sees you in that courtroom, they're going to be reminded of your mom's mistake.
Take care.
All right, what's the plan?
Shaky at best. But worth a shot since it's the only one we've got. And I want to thank you for reminding me about that sketch. Are you ready to go up on the stand again?
Yes, of course I am. If we can nail Carl, why not? I have nothing else to lose.
May I escort you to your table, my dear?
Thank you.
I had the chef prepare something special for us.
Really, what?
That will be a surprise.
Great, I'm starved.
Yeah, I haven't eaten either.
How did you know I hadn't eaten?
I thought we weren't going to talk about Matt and Dean. There it is. I've missed that smile.
You think you're pretty smart, don't you?
Well, fathers are supposed to know about these things. You know, this father stuff is kind of new to me. I'm still learning.
Me too.
How am I doing?
Just fine.
So are you.
Thanks. Ooh, I just had the funniest feeling.
What?
Oh, it's really weird. It's like I've been here before. Not exactly here, but a place just like it. When I was younger, and some man pulled out my chair for me, just like you did.
Deja vu? Who was it?
I don't know. But I think it was my father.
Please be seated. Counsel, please approach.
You okay, honey? Yeah. Are you sure?
I've decided that there is not adequate basis for dismissal of the charges against the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You still feel you have a case?
Absolutely. We haven't had a chance to do any redirect with Mrs. Corey.
What are you going to do? Keep trying until she gets it right?
That's enough, Miss Kramer. Are you prepared to redirect?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's proceed. Miss Corey, will you please resume the witness stand?
Why is he asking her up there again?
I hope to try to undo some of the damage.
Well, what if it makes it worse?
I'll remind you that you are still under oath, Miss Corey.
Yes.
We all understand that this is an ordeal for you.
Yes, it is.
Are you feeling any better?
Yes, thank you.
Well, this sort of thing is bound to take its toll. Now, I don't mean to get personal, but you must be very nervous.
Yes, I am.
Were you nervous before when Ms. Kramer was badgering you?
Objection!
Withdrawn. Were you nervous before when you were being cross-examined?
Yes, I was.
That's more than understandable. We can all do odd things in times of stress. I can remember once, during a very important case, I came to court wearing one black and one brown shoe and
Objection,
mismatched
Your
socks.
Honor. Is there a question somewhere in these anecdotes?
Get on with it, Mr. Anderson.
Very well, Your Honor. These anecdotes were offered to show that the only possible reason that Mrs. Corey misidentified the photo of her son was nervousness and stress.
Your Honor,
brought
he's
on...
making speeches now.
Questions, Mr. Anderson, right now.
State your occupation, please, Mrs. Corey.
Chairman and CEO of Corey Enterprises.
A position you still hold.
Yes.
And would you please describe your duties?
I oversee everything that has to do with the corporation, which publishes magazines and books.
Excuse me. Have you had any trouble carrying out your responsibilities?
I don't think our shareholders would think so.
Mrs. Corey, the night of your attack, you were stalked by Pete Walker for a period of how long?
A couple of hours.
And you were close to him?
Yes.
Yes, you even spoke to him?
Yes.
And there is no doubt in your mind that he is the man who tried to kill you?
No doubt.
And you're positive of what he looked like?
I'll never forget his face.
Did you work with a police forensic artist on a sketch of Mr. Walker?
Yes, I did.
And what happened when that sketch was circulated?
Mr. Walker was identified and apprehended.
Your Honor, request to enter police artist sketch as People's Exhibit number 3.
Miss Kramer?
No objection.
And these mug shots of Mr. Walker taken from his file that bear a close resemblance to the sketch.
Photos accepted and entered as People's Exhibit number 4.
Objection, Your Honor. What's the point of all this?
The point is that Mrs. Corey knows with absolute certainty the identity of the man who tried to kill her. Now, Mrs. Corey, I have 3 photographs here, each bearing a physical resemblance to Mr. Walker. Now, I'm going to ask the bailiff to arrange them, and I want you to look them over. Mrs. Corey, would you please pick out the photograph of the man that attacked you? Take your time.
This is him.
You're sure? Pete Walker. Thank you, Mrs. Corey. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
You may step down. You may call your next witness, Mr. Anderson.
Prosecution rests.
Very well. Ms. Kramer?
Defense calls Ms. Amanda Corey.
I thought you didn't remember your father.
I don't. At least I didn't think that I did, but sitting here with you, I'm starting to remember things I didn't even know that I knew.
Like what?
Well, it's all real hazy. It's not specific. But I do remember being in a really fancy restaurant when I was a little girl, and a man pulled out my chair for me, just like you did. So I sit down, and my feet don't even touch the floor. And I have a really fancy party dress on. And it's really kind of tight, but it scratches me around the neck. But I don't care because it makes me feel really grown up. And there's candlelight and music and violins, I think. And then there's someone passes me this huge, great big menu. And then there's this drink. And so the man hands it to me. And it tastes really sweet and cold. Makes my nose real tickly, you know? But wherever I am, I know that I just don't want to leave. That's it. That's all I can remember. I don't know where this place was or what I was doing there or when it happened or if it ever really did happen. I mean, it could just all be a dream.
Sounds too real to be a dream.
You know what? I've had this dream before. So now I'm starting to think that maybe it really happened.
Well, does this dream upset you? Did you...
No, everything I remember is really good. The man was kind, and I felt really comfortable with him. I was really happy.
Well, why do you think it was your father?
I don't know. Who else could it be? I remember something else, too. I remember being back at the convent and feeling like I had done something wrong.
What?
Well, maybe this man was my father, and somehow he was able to get me out of the convent for the afternoon. And then when my mom found out about it, she got angry with the nuns for allowing it.
Jenna, honey, come on. That's an awful lot of speculation based on some vague, disjointed memories that may not have even happened.
No, but it did. I know it did. That man was my father. And Lucas, I've got to find out who he was and why I never saw him again.
Honey, you've been through some pretty rough times lately.
Yeah, but how can I know who I am if I don't even know where I come from? Can you help me, please?
How?
Well, you and Felicia, you must have found out something about my father through my records. Can't you please tell me everything that you know?
I did not have a date with you. I don't even know you. Who are you? I don't know anything about you.
Well, I know an awful lot about you. From Sam and Dr. Frame.
What?
We had a date, and I'm not going to let you renege on it. You have to start your therapy.
My what?
I'm David Campbell, your physical therapist.
Oh. Well, then why didn't you just say that in the first place?
Well, I assumed you knew. But didn't Jamie tell you he'd schedule an appointment today?
No, all he said was that I had to start therapy as soon as possible.
Which is today.
I'm not quite ready yet.
And you never will be, if we leave it up to you.
That's just not true. I had every intention of scheduling an appointment.
When?
I don't know.
Uh-huh. Well, I've heard that one before.
Well, I can't do it today. I mean, as you can see, I have things to do.
Being scared is no excuse either. And the longer you wait, the harder it'll be.
I'm not scared.
Sure you are. You were a dancer. You told that body what to do, and it didn't give you any back talk. Now you can't tie your own shoes without wanting to scream. But here is the deal, honey. Without therapy, chances are you'll never dance again. But then maybe you don't want to. It's up to you.
Wait!
Good girl. All right, now just concentrate on the little steps first, and you'll be doing those arabesques before you know it.
You really think so?
Like I said, it's up to you. All right. Here's the routine. First, we're going to start ultrasound treatments and massages to keep your muscles limber. Next week, you'll do some simple stretching. It's going to hurt like hell at first, but you'll deal with it. And then after that, if all goes well, you'll start some exercises designed to help strengthen up your back. Okay, now right now, I want to watch you walk across the room.
No, I'm not ready yet.
You can't walk across a room?
Look, David, you caught me by surprise, okay? I will call you tomorrow, and we'll set up an appointment.
No, you won't. And I've got better things to do than sit waiting by the phone. It's too bad, because I'll bet you would have been a hell of a dancer.
I am a hell of a dancer!
Was, honey. Good luck with your life.
No, wait! I have to dance again. It's all I have left.
So, is this a yes?
Yes.
All right then, prima ballerina. Let's do it. Let me see you walk.
I don't want to be here, Your Honor.
I'm afraid you have no choice, Miss Corey.
Request to treat the witness as hostile, Your Honor.
Some leeway, Miss Kramer, but watch your step.
On the day in question, between 4:30 p.m. and 6:30, during the time which your mother was attacked, were you with Carl Hutchins at Jacqueline's couturier shop?
Yes.
And during that time, did Mr. Hutchins ever leave your sight?
No, but I did leave for a while.
During which time Mr. Hutchins was engaged in friendly conversation with your sister, Paulina Corey McKinnon.
Objection.
Am I right?
She can't know what happened if she wasn't in the room.
Sustained.
Miss Corey, knowing the distance of the television studio from Jacqueline's shop, were you out of the room long enough for Mr. Hutchins to have left the shop, gone to the studio, and returned?
No.
Thank you. Your witness.
Did it seem curious to you that Mr. Hutchins would appear in Jacqueline's?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Did Mr. Hutchins buy anything in the dress shop?
Not that I saw.
What did he do?
He talked. Made himself obvious. Then he made a few phone calls.
Did you hear what he said?
No.
Did you happen to notice who he called? Could it have been Pete Walker to confirm whether or not he'd killed your mother?
Objection, Your Honor. Counsel is leading the witness. Miss Corey has previously testified she does not know the content of the phone calls.
That's enough. Objection is sustained. The jury will ignore the last question.
Did Carl say or do anything that seemed odd to you?
Yes, he did.
Describe it.
At the end of the afternoon, when I was leaving, Mr. Hutchins walked up to me, looked at me rather strangely, and suggested that I buy a certain dress. He told me that it would come in handy.
Was there something special about this dress?
Yes. It was black.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Miss Kramer, any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Corey, Mr. Hutchins knows you and your family, doesn't he? Couldn't he have suggested you purchase a black dress because he knows you attend a lot of formal functions?
Yes, that's what he said, but what he meant was something
Mrs. Corey,
totally
yes
different.
or no?
Yes.
And about those phone calls he placed, did you have any way of hearing what he said?
No.
Do you have any way of knowing who he called or what he discussed?
No.
Then one might infer that he spent those hours very much like you did.
Objection.
Withdrawn. No further questions.
You may step down. Call your next witness.
The defense rests, Your Honor.
As it's still early, we'll proceed to closing arguments. Mr. Anderson.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you believe in fairy tales, you believe it was a coincidence that Carl Hutchins was with Amanda Corey the entire time Rachel Corey was being stalked and almost killed. And if you believe in fairy tales, you believe Pete Walker, who worked only intermittently as a substitute stagehand, suddenly had the urge to take a little vacation to Caracas, Venezuela, the day immediately following the incident. And if you believe in fairy tales, you believe that this same healthy man, at the age of 36, suddenly had a fatal heart attack the day before he was supposed to testify. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I do not believe in fairy tales as told by Carl Hutchins, and neither should you. And what I do believe is that Carl Hutchins had a long-standing vendetta against the Corey family and set about with deliberation and malice to plan and execute the cold-blooded murder of Rachel Corey. It is time for Carl Hutchins' fairy tale to end, and it will, if you do what you must and find him guilty of attempted murder.
Pete Walker may or may not have called my client. But so what? Mr. Walker never made a statement to the police, never even admitted knowing Carl Hutchins. Carl was with the intended victim's daughter the entire time she was stalked. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the only hard fact uncovered during our entire testimony. And that from a witness who clearly wishes Mr. Hutchins ill. Carl Hutchins lost his freedom. He has paid for his misdeeds. But apparently that's not enough for the Corey family or Detective Harrison. But the state still bears the burden of proof. And you must ask yourselves, how have they met their responsibilities? Rachel Corey did finally identify her assailant. But what does this mean? Even if we admit that Pete Walker was the man who attacked Ms. Corey, we have nothing, absolutely nothing, linking that man, Mr. Walker, to Mr. Hutchins. Justice, ladies and gentlemen, is based on evidence. Cold, hard facts, not fairy tales. And based on the total lack of evidence, you have no choice but to find my client innocent.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Rachel, what's going on?
I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, there is some last-minute evidence regarding Pete Walker's death that I feel must be admitted. you may take the stand.
Who is that?
The assistant coroner.
Well, couldn't you stop this? Is it necessary?
He can't hurt us. We've got this thing in the bag.
State your name and occupation.
Harry Randall, Assistant County Medical Examiner.
You have a preliminary autopsy report on Mr. Walker. Would you please read the circled paragraph?
Unidentified toxins in the victim's bloodstream indicate the possibility of poisoning.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Kramer?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Randall, is there any way for anyone to know how, when, or where these alleged poisons may have been administered?
Well, if there were signs of a struggle.
Were such signs present?
No.
Then such poison, if it exists, could have been self-administered.
Possibly.
Thank you.
You may step down. The jury will retire, and this court is in recess until they've reached a verdict.
I don't know, did that help us or hurt
Rachel,
us?
don't worry. We still have a chance.
So you see, honey, we don't really know anything about your biological father.
Yeah, I should have known.
We would have told you.
I just keep hoping that if I can learn more about him, I'll understand myself better.
Honey, there are no easy answers for this. I just hate seeing you so unhappy.
I'll be fine.
It's Dean, isn't it?
No.
But do you care about him?
Can we please change the subject?
What about Matt?
You already know about him. He was sleeping with Lorna the whole time he was seeing me.
So it's over with him?
That's the confusing part. I don't know. Part of me hates him, and the other part...
I know. A long time ago, you know, I hated Felicia. Because I thought she had walked out on me. But a part of me also loved her.
It's all so crazy.
Isn't it?
Hi, Jenna.
Excuse me.
Listen, can we talk?
Sure.
I know I really screwed things up with Jenna. Okay?
You certainly did.
But you won't even talk to me.
Well, you think she should?
Yes, she should, because I love her. I know she still cares about me. Has she said anything to you?
No, we agreed not to talk about it.
Okay. What do you think? What are my chances?
I don't know. That's not up to me. It's up to Jenna. She was hurt.
Yeah, that's why I want to talk to her, so she doesn't do something stupid.
Like what?
Like get involved with Dean. Listen, I know he's my partner and he's a good friend. He's very talented, but he's all wrong for her, okay?
Yeah, well, that I agree with.
So you'll help me get her back? You know, it's either me or him.
Excuse me, please. Can I have my chair? I was having lunch with Lucas. Thank you.
How you doing? Is it over?
No, it's gone to jury.
How'd it go?
No, I can't tell.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I've been better.
Did Mom come with you?
No, she was feeling a little tired, so Michael took her home.
Look, I have to make a phone call. If you'll excuse me.
Sure.
Is the trial over?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be out of your way as soon as I can.
Are you all right?
My physical therapist came by today. I'm a little tired.
You look a lot more than just tired. How bad was it?
Awful, and it's probably going to get worse.
Well, you have to do it.
I know I have to do it. Sam, I'm scared. What if it doesn't work? I know my body, and I can't move the way I used to be able to. I can't control my muscles. And the more I seem to try, the more I seem to fail. What if I never dance again?
Is that what your therapist said?
No.
It'll work, Olivia.
Right, I just have to keep on going no matter what.
Let me get this for you.
No, moving is good for me, okay? Ow! Oh, don't touch me! Just keep your hands off me!
Olivia, this is crazy. I just want to help you.
I don't need any help.
Well, I don't want to see you in
you.
pain.
Oh, well, you won't see me in pain as soon as I move back home.
Look, you don't have to leave today, all right?
Yes, I do. I think it's better.
No. No matter what, I'm still your friend, and I want to help you. You're gonna stay.
I just don't have the energy to fight with you today.
Then don't.
Thanks. Sam, Thank you.
Excuse me, I left something at the table.
Amanda, do you mind
No,
if I...
go. I'm gonna wait for Sam at the bar.
We have to talk.
I have nothing to say to you.
Yes, you do. You have to say you don't love me anymore. I knew it. I knew you still had feelings for me. I have feelings for you, too.
Yeah, well, all you're feeling is guilt.
That's right, I am feeling guilty. Because I remember how it was between us.
Did you remember it when you slept with Lorna?
I should have slept with you.
Oh.
That's what I wanted more than anything. And you'll never know how sorry I am that didn't happen. I mean, those plans that we had to go to the cabin, waking up in each other's arms, that's what I wanted more than anything.
That's just sex, Matt. That's not love.
No. Sleeping with Lorna was sex. Not sleeping with you was love.
Well, if we're gonna be honest, it's not just what you did.
It's not?
No, there's something else. It's about Dean. I have feelings for him, and I need to find out what they mean.
What would a nice girl like you be doing in a place like this?
Just leaving.
Not on my account, I hope. Please. Please don't be alarmed, Amanda.
Why, I ever thought for 1 minute I could pull that off.
Rachel, don't do this to yourself. You gave it your best shot. Now we just wait and see what
I
happens.
have ruined my credibility with
No
the jury.
one in that courtroom is going to doubt that Walker's guilty.
At least on redirect, I was able to correctly identify Walker. I know Carl was the one that hired him to kill me.
So do I.
But we can't prove it.
Well, we're just going to have to pray that the DA's case holds up. They will find Carl guilty. They will put him away for good.
They have to. If they don't, there's no telling what he'll do next.
Actually, I've come here to thank you for this afternoon. For standing up for me. I knew I could count on you.
He climbed in through your balcony?
That's because Lucas won't let him in any other way. He needed to get me to admit that I had feelings for him.
And what did you find out?
That I don't know, that I'm not going to be forced into anything.
But that's exactly what he was doing. It was this big, grand gesture to impress you.
No, it wasn't.
Yes,
It was
No,
sincere.
that was Dean's style. All show, nothing underneath. He gets what he wants and he moves on. I just don't want to see you get hurt or
Oh,
disappointed.
yeah? Well, I've already been hurt and disappointed, Matt. At least he didn't lie to me.
Listen, I know you hate me right now. But don't go and make it worse by doing something you're...
Stop it, okay? Talking about Dean is not going to make me love you.
Okay. Answer me this. Do you really care about Dean, or are you just doing this to hurt me?
Appearing as your witness was one of the worst moments of my life.
You may not believe me, Amanda, but I'm genuinely sorry. If there'd been anything I could have done to prevent you from going through such an ordeal, I would have done it. But it wasn't my doing. It was the lawyers. Now, if there's anything I can do to make it up to you.
Oh, there is. Stop bothering me. Stop showing up at my office unannounced. Stop sending me flowers. Leave me and my family alone.
I wish you were alone. Far better for you to be alone than with Sam Fowler. Yes, I saw you. He's wrong for you, Amanda. He really is. You must learn from your mistakes, otherwise you'll be hurt again. And that would hurt me.
Get the hell away from her. Are you all right?
Of course she's all right, you silly, woolly boy. She knows. Deep, deep down, she knows that I'd never do her harm.
Can we please leave now?
Yes, let's go.
Hello, Felix. It's me. Yes. Now, I shall be leaving the country soon. And I shall need a new passport for myself. And one